The silence is the most terrifying part. It is a heavy blanket woven from unnatural stillness, pressing down where the screams and the splintering of wooden bone had been only a sun's turn ago. Kael pushes himself up from the mud, his body an atlas of pain. Rain, thin and cold, slicks his matted hair and traces paths through the grime on his face. He tastes blood and soil. His hands, the craftsman's hands that know the secret heart of flint in the grain of wood, tremble as he grips the earth. He is alive. The thought is not a comfort. It is an accusation. He stumbles through the ruin of what was. Yesterday, the home. The palisade of sharpened logs is a row of broken teeth. The communal fire pit is a soupy slurry of ashen rainwater. Hides, meant for warmth and shelter, are shredded and scattered like dead leaves. He sees the footprints first. Each is a crater. A small pond of bloody water deep enough to drown a child. They march in a line of absolute authority, carving a path of annihilation straight through the center of the camp. The god minus beast. The sun minus eater. The Tyrannosaurus Rex. Its memory is a fresh wound in his mind, the ground shuddering not like a tremor, but like the footfalls of a walking mountain. The shadow that fell over the clearing, eclipsing the sun, and the roarous sound that was not heard with the ears but felt deep in the marrow, a sound that unmade the world and tore the sky. He remembers diving into the narrow crevice between two basalt boulders as the jaws, wide enough to swallow a deer whole, closed on the shelter where the elders huddled. He had watched it all through that crack in the world, a helpless witness to the end of his people. Now, in the silence that follows, he is the last echo of their existence. Kael walks the path of the beast, his bare feet sinking into the churned mud of its passage. This is the brutal reality of prehistoric life. You are either the hunter or the ground beneath the hunter's feet. His clan, a line of Homo erectus who had learned to tame fire and read the seasons, had believed their wits made them different. They were wrong. Their spears, their stone axes, their courage all had shattered against a wall of muscle and predatory certainty. He sees the remains of Al Anna's favorite spear, its fire-minus hardened tip snap, the shaft crushed into splinters. He touches the deep gouges in a great oak where the creature scraped its flank, blackened with peeled away to the bone-minus white core. He is a craftsman cataloguing the force that unmade his life's work. He finds what is left of his own hut near the edge of the clearing. His shaping stones are scattered. A half-minus finished axe head lies in the mud, its promise of a sharp edge now a pathetic joke. He sinks to his knees, the full weight of his solitude finally crushing him. He is one man, the last man, the first law of this world, etched into bone by teeth the size of daggers, is this: to survive, you must listen to the story the world is telling you. And the story written here, in blood and ruin, is that his kind is destined only for extinction. Days bleed into one another, marked only by the rising and setting of a sun he no longer sees as a promise of warmth, but as a light that exposes his vulnerability. Hunger becomes his shadow, a gnawing hollow waste that drives him from the wreck of his camp into the surrounding forest. He scavenges for grubs and tough minus shelled beetles, his teeth grinding on grit. He drinks from puddles, eyeing the canopy for the winged death that hunts from above. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves, sends a jolt of pure terror through his veins. This is the reality of human evolution at its most raw. A single, tether ape against a world of titans. He is prey, and he feels it in his bones. Driven by the need for a tool, anything to dig for roots or defend himself, he returns to the epicenter of the destruction, the place where the Tyrannosaurus Rex had pivoted, crushing the earth beneath its pillar-minus-like leg. Here, the ground is a ruin of basalt rock and something else. Gleaming black stones litter the mud, catching the weak light. He has seen this rock before, high on the slopes of the smoking mountain, but never like this. It is obsidian, the frozen fire-minus blood of the earth, but where it was once found in dull, rounded nodules, here it is fractured into 1,000 deadly pieces. The sheer, unimaginable weight of the beast has pressure-minus flaked the volcanic glass. creating edges of a kind he has never witnessed. He picks up a shard. Its surface smooth and cool, its edge a sliver of night. It is lighter than flint, more elegant. His craftsman's instinct takes over, his thumb tracing the contours. He knows the art of knapping, the patient percussion required to flake a core and produce a usable edge from a piece of flint. It is a slow, controlled process, a conversation with the stone. This is different. This was created in a single, apocalyptic moment of violence. He presses his thumb against the edge, testing its bite as he would with one of his own ancient tools. There is no resistance. A line of crimson blooms on his skin, so fine and deep it doesn't hurt at first. He stares, mesmerized, as his blood wells up and drips onto the black glass. A spark flickers in the cold ash of his mind. Flint crushes, flint bruises. Flint can break a bone if you are strong and lucky, but this cuts. It parts flesh with the ease of water moving around a reed. This is not a tool for hammering or scraping. This is an entirely new language of violence. A leap forward in primitive technology gifted to him by the very monster that destroyed his world. He looks around at the scattered black shards, seeing them not as rocks, but as a dragon's teeth sewn into the earth, each one a potential weapon. The hard choice presents itself not as a single dilemma, but as a painstaking process. Working with obsidian is treacherous. It is brittle. A clumsy strike will not dull the edge. It will shatter the entire piece. He spends days gathering the best fragments. His hands bleeding from a dozen small cuts. He finds a straight, strong branch of ash that the Tyrannosaurus Rex had miraculously missed. He begins to work, not with the brute force of a flint-snapper, but with the delicate precision of a surgeon. He uses a piece of outlet to gently pressure-flake the base of the obsidian point, creating notches to bind it to the spear shaft. Every flake that chips away is a risk. One mistake, one tremor of his weary hand, could sever a tendon and leave him helpless. He is shaping the monster's terrible strength into a form his own hands can wield, turning a tool of nature's rage into an instrument of human will. They come with the dusk. 3 of them. They are not titans like the sun-eater, but death perfected in a smaller form, Velociraptor. Their movements are a liquid dance of predatory grace, their bird-like heads twitching, tasting the air. For 2 days, they have been a ghost-like presence at the edge of the tree line, a trio of chirping, clicking shadows drawn by the lingering scent of death that hangs over the ruined camp. They are intelligent. Kael knows this. They are watching him, learning him, waiting for a moment of weakness. He cannot stay here. He cannot outrun them. Hiding is only a delay. Clutching the new spear, he feels its salient balance. It is lighter than his old flint-tipped weapons. The weight shifted forward by the dense obsidian point. The haft is smooth edge, warmed by his grip. This is his only answer to the sickle-crossum, the coordinated attack. He is not a hunter preparing for a stalk. He is a cornered animal preparing for his last stand. This is the brutal calculus of survival. The hard choice is not whether to fight, but where. He retreats slowly, deliberately, backing toward the 2 great basalt boulders that had saved him once before. The narrow crevice between them is a bottleneck, a place where their numbers will count for nothing. One of the raptors breaks from the pack, testing him. It sprints forward in a blow of grey-green scales, its head low, its tail a rigid counterbalance. Kael's heart hammers against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the raptor's silent approach. He plants his feet in the mud, holding the spear two-handed, the obsidian point aimed at the creature's throat. It is a gamble on a technology that has never been tested in combat, a prayer offered to a sliver of black glass. The raptor finds, juking to his left, its sickle claw tapping on a stone with a sharp click-clack. It is trying to make him overcome, to open his flank for the others. Kael does not move. He is a statue of terror and resolve. The raptor commits, lunging for his exposed side. He pivots, not away, but into the attack, bringing the spear point around in a short, Show a poke. There is no heavy, bone-minus jarring impact like with a flint spear. There is only a soft, wet shearing sound. The obsidian edge, born at a tyrant's weight, slides through scale and muscle and sinew with terrifying ease. It opens the raptor's throat from jaw to collarbone. The creature stumbles, the look of profound shock in its reptilian eye. It makes no sound, only a gurgling exhalation as its lifeblood pours onto the black mud in a steaming torrent. It collapses, its deadly claws twitching. The other two raptors freeze. They stare at their fallen pack mate, at the silent, blood-minus soaked man, and at the strange, dark weapon he holds. They are creatures of logic, of risk and reward. They understand teeth and claws and brute force. They do not understand this. They do not understand how something so small could inflict such a complete and silent wound. They hiss, a sound of frustration and fear, and after a long, tense moment, they melt back into the shadows of the forest. Kael stands shaking, not in triumph, but in the raw, adrenaline-minus laced aftermath of survival. He looks from the dead predator to the obsidian spearhead, its gleaming surface now painted with life's crimson. He has done more than kill a monster. He has changed the fundamental rules of existence for all human ancestors to come. He has proven that the sharpest thing in this world is not a claw, but a thought. In the grand, unwritten annals of hominid history, there is no monument to Kael of the basalt crevice. No songs are sung of the day one man, armed with the accidental byproduct of a massacre, first stood his ground. Yet, the echo of his desperate act ripples forward through time. The obsidian edge he wielded was the first true scalpel, the ancestor of every blade that would ever carve a path for humanity. His tactical use of a choke point, his understanding of an enemy psychology, these were the first syllables in the language of warfare and strategy. He did not know it, but in defending his own life, he was defending an idea. That intelligence, when honed to a razor's edge, could defy the sheer physics of annihilation. His lonely stand was the moment our ancestors stopped being merely survivors and began the audacious, bloody, and brilliant journey of becoming conquerors. It begs the question that defines our entire species. Is our greatest strength born from inspiration, or is it always forged in the fires of our deepest terror? This is the chronicle of our savage dawn. Listen closely, and you can still hear the echo of the stone striking the bone. But what happens when the very ground beneath their feet becomes a predator far older and far slower than any dinosaur?